Today, we are diving deep into something I think we've all felt. Why the internet can feel so incredibly loud, but also kind of like everyone's saying the same thing.
You know that feeling, right? You're just scrolling maybe through your feed or a comment section and it hits you. It seems like every single person is shouting the exact same opinion, over and over again. It's almost like you walked into a room where everyone is yelling in perfect unison. So how on earth does that happen?
Well, here's the thing. It is absolutely not an accident. What we're seeing is this powerful combo of basic human psychology, how we act in groups, and the algorithms that run our favorite platforms. These two things team up, and the result is that they crank the volume way up on the most emotional, the most outraged voices, making them sound like they're the only voices that matter.
Okay, so to really get how this works, we need to first understand the environment where it all goes down. Let's call it the chamber.
So think about it this way. An algorithm's number one job is to keep you scrolling, to keep you engaged. And you know what the easiest way to do that is? To tap into our very human need to feel like we belong, to feel validated. So it groups you with people who already think just like you, creating this perfect little bubble where your own beliefs just get echoed back at you, again and again, louder each time.
And what's wild is just how simple the sorting process really is. It literally starts with one click from you, a like, a share, a comment. The algorithm doesn't really care what the content is, it just sees that you engaged. And then it basically plays matchmaker. It connects you with this whole crowd of other people who did the exact same thing. And pretty soon, their content is your content. And just like that, your digital world gets a whole lot smaller.
Okay, so if the chamber is the where this all happens, let's talk about the what. What kind of stuff actually thrives in these spaces? Well, as it turns out, not all content is created equal online, not by a long shot.
This brings us to a huge concept called amplification. You can think of it as the engine that powers the echo chamber. Emotional stuff, especially outrage and anger, is like high-octane fuel for the algorithm. It triggers a really strong gut reaction in us, which makes us way more likely to share it instantly, without a second thought.
And I mean, when you put them side by side, you can totally see why. Outrage is simple. It's powerful. It's a shortcut that screams, "Share me now." Facts, on the other hand, well, facts are often messy and complicated. They make you slow down, think, and deal with nuance. In the super-fast world of a social media feed, facts are just at a massive disadvantage.
Just look at the difference here. I mean, it is not even a fair fight. Emotional content, and especially outrage, is practically built to go viral. The whole system is set up to reward that speed and that raw power to get a reaction, while the slower, more thoughtful stuff just gets left in the dust.
And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. It really is like that terrible screeching sound. The algorithm shows you something emotional. You react. So it shows you more stuff just like it from other people who also reacted. And the whole conversation just gets louder and more intense until you get that high-pitched feedback loop where no new or different information can possibly get through.
Okay, so we've seen how the chamber gets built and what fuels it. But what if you could actually see this happening with your own eyes? Let's walk through a little activity that can help you map out the echoes in your own feeds.
You know, the best way to understand this whole system is to stop being a passive user and become an active observer. And there's a really simple exercise for this called content mapping that lets you analyze pretty much any online discussion and see the chamber's walls for yourself.
So here's how you do it. First, just find a post that has a ton of energy around it. You know, something viral, maybe a little controversial. Then, all you have to do is read the first 20 or so top comments. Your only job is to sort them into two piles. Echoes, the ones that just agree with or repeat the original post, and outsiders, the ones that bring in a totally different perspective. Now, just count them up. What's your final tally? Is it an even split, like 10 and 10, a real conversation? Or is it something more like 19 to 1? That ratio, right there, is a perfect snapshot of the echo chamber at work. It shows you how much of what we call online discussion is really just reinforcement.
So, what's the point of all this? What do we do with this information? Well, once you see the chamber, you really can't unsee it. And that, right there, is the most important part.
Just being aware of how these mechanics work, the sorting, the amplification, that feedback spiral, it gives you a completely new way to look at your online world. It's the first and most critical step towards deliberately looking for the perspectives the algorithm might be hiding from you. It's really about taking back a little bit of control.
And that kind of leads us to one last thought to leave you with. Every day, the algorithm builds this comfortable, custom-made room just for you. But you have to remember, comfort can also be a kind of cage. So maybe the most important question we can ask ourselves isn't what's in the room, but what's happening just outside those walls.